here's the interesting topic, Highguard. It says I played 52 minutes. It was the um, tutorial at the beginning, and then I played a match or two. I don't know if it was I played two matches or maybe it was the same game or I auto queued in. I don't know, but I felt like I was playing for a while. And the only reason I played this, it doesn't interest me. And I'm not knocking the game, and I want to get that out of the way. This is not about the quality of the game. I will say that it is a game. It is a live service game that works. But and I'll say that I don't think it's. I'd hate to say it's not worth playing. I mean, it's free. If you love trying free to play games to see what you want to spend time with, you might as well try with this. But it's weird though at its core that it's a 3v3 game. So it's not like you're gonna have more than three buddies gonna get, and that's fine. But it's just for a shooter, you feel like you would have more team members with you, and this is part of that silence they had after the reveal where they weren't really talking about it. So no one would really know what was going on with the game. So you're playing it 3v3 in a huge map. So there's a lot of downtime. And it's pockets of specific things you have to do. So you're also kind of restricted. You're like funneled into phases. It's like, okay, loot, and you have to get on your horse really if you want to get to where you need to. So then you're kind of traveling for this distance until you get to the shield breaker. I forget what it's called, which is like the capture the flag part. So then you're forced into a capture the flag mode, which is fine. I mean, especially if you like it. I'm just saying it's very linear. And then it's like you get the shield breaker to the base to get in, go inside, put a bomb on A, put a bomb on B. It's not very free form. It's very linear, strict. This is what you do in a 3v3. And that could be fine as a free-to-play game. But what was interesting was this was the big last reveal at the TGAs. I know we've been talking about the Game Awards, and we've been talking about it, and it's like, what's the point? Well, as Highguard came out, it got review bombed really bad. And the interesting discussion that then happens online is it's this two-sided thing, obviously, like there always is, where you have the people that are just hating on the game because they can't articulate what it is about the game they don't like, but underlying there is something there. It's, and to go over that again, it's this big reveal at the TGAs from the developers of Apex Legends, Titanfall, etc. And then they didn't say anything about the game forever until they had influencers that were flown out to play the game and then talk about it. And what that does to people that are really into gaming, that are watching the TGAs, and then they're into the gaming scene, they're seeing something that's inauthentic. And I felt it too. And I didn't know. I remember when they showed it, I'm like, well, this is a live service game. I mean, isn't the industry having issues right now with mass layoffs, with games being canceled, studios being closed because they're chasing models, these live service models? They're copycatting, which is fine. Again, but we're seeing a pattern where these things don't work. There's a reason people compared this game to Concord. And again, it's not just the visuals, which a lot of people are like, well, it doesn't look like Concord. No, it's not just the visuals. It's the whole thing around it. It seems like hey, here's a live game with zany characters, a live service game with zany characters, and there's like, okay, but what is it? The interesting thing about Concord is it had the story that they were doing, where it was like movies that were being released every week. Which, to be honest, that is actually a cool idea. But there was no reason for buy-in other than the flip side, the executive, the people on top making decisions are like, yes, let's touch the pulse of the gamers out there. Let's make live service. Come in, you play. It's a lot of fun. It's like everything. And it sounds like you're wanting to give people everything they want, and that will make you a lot of money. but it's just that's not where the gamers are anymore. And it's been like this for a while. That's why, again, at the TGAs, them revealing this game as the final game and then not talking about it until influencers got flown out to play it. And then it's just this 3v3 game with a big map. It's this whole thing is just an example of the issue with the industry, because then, like, if we go to Twitter, I just type in Highguard and we have someone say, Highguard is another example of why I tire of online discourse regarding gaming showcases. The rise of anti-fans is huge. So this is the issue number one. This is not anti-fans. This is not about being anti-fan about a game. This is a concept that occurred, a situation, an event. It could have been any game by any studio that was live service. Because if you were saying, why are they an anti-fan? This person can't articulate that. They're just, now people put as much energy into hating something, but he's not articulating the reason that people are hating. It's bad when Highguard removed from the creators of Apex and Titanfall from their description, which that could have been EA saying like, hey, can you take that down, please? Or that could have been them being like, hey, let's take it down. And, we don't want to be associated. Anyway, it's a bad look right now. It adds to the narrative. It's only being highlighted because of this bigger picture that is occurring. This has nothing to do with the quality of the game, but it's being highlighted. Let's see. Yeah, people talking about, it. And again, it's not about the game being bad. That's the thing. It is a mid game. I think. And then, there's a discussion that was going back and forth. Let's see. No. Yeah, I was going back and forth. A friend, Mirabella, a longtime IGN guy. It's because he was just posting the stats of this is what's this. It's being review bombed. Here's the percentage of mostly negative in their playtime. I don't know what you would be alluding to with that data, other than most of the people that barely played it are the ones that have the negative reviews. But again, when review bombing occurs, there's a meta narrative behind it. It's not at face value of what people have. This is in life. Sometimes people have a hard time articulating themselves. It could be a loved one, someone you're close with, that sometimes something might sound mean or come out aggressive, but it's really that they don't know how to articulate something that is going on. And when you get something like X, social media, where you have so many people that can talk all the time about whatever, you're going to get a lot of that, because I think that's kind of a baseline that everyone goes through, and it's hard to get out. And so I think it's like a reaction. It's to how the industry is. We get all these shutdowns, closures, the live service issues, and that's what is revealed at the end of the TGAs. So it makes us a little disappointed too in Jeff Keighley, because it's like, is he now out of touch? Or maybe he really just made an honest mistake, although that is out of touch. Or then is it out of touch, or is there some investment into this? Which, hey, if he wants to do that, that's fine. But that's the other part of this. It just further, doubles down on the fact that I think, while the TGAs seem like a good idea in theory, from what was recognizing in awards recognition became promotion, anticipation, expectation. And the big main factor I just brought up for a second, Fran Mirabella, but what the main factor too is how gaming journalists then are regurgitating this information. A lot of the bigger gaming journalists tend to double down on these practices that are bad for the industry. Things about DLC, microtransactions, live service, influencers going out to these events. They're feeding what destroys the industry. So there's many factors involved with Highguard that are just, they're revealing the issues with the video game industry. So that's my takeaway from this. The thing is, you're not going to find that conversation on X, even if you try. Even though Elon Musk has tried, because you can type more if you have the blue check. So um, let's go to chat. Jeff was in touch. That's funny. I'll try. It looks like what people who hate AI complain about. To be honest, that's funny. That's true. I'll admit I haven't played it, but the vibes just don't get my attention. Yeah, and that is a really good point. I guess I didn't bring up, because the game is very inoffensive, right? It's like you can play it and have fun. There is no vibe to it, and it's hard. I'm holding a rifle. I'm riding a horse. Um, and that's cool, but it's just the way it comes off. I don't have an identity. Yeah, vibe. There's nothing I can vibe with. Um, let's see. It just looked very middle of the road to me. The art direction wasn't something I was interested in. Like, it's fantasy, but it has guns with super sci-fi guns, which felt odd. Yeah, couldn't identify with anything, and it didn't seem to be like a sci-fi versus fantasy thing either. Yeah, yeah. So, and there's a funny. I think Sungrant Studios YouTube channel had a funny video just kind of breaking that down. How, like, what are we actually looking at? What is any of this? Anyway, I want to end with, though, nearly 100,000 people played the game. There's probably even more that have heard about the game, and there's a lot of people that worked on the game that really put a lot of time into it, and I don't think it's their fault that this happened. This was the top dog, the people in control of the money, the visibility, Jeff Keighley, the TGAs, wherever that bad call was made. It's that, and it's not the developers. I hope, though, this allows the game to be sustainable for some time, maybe enough of this press. So I don't know. Okay. I'm glad I got all that off my chest.